Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Monchkinz Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Monchkinz logging in to bring you another Final Fantasy XIV video, and in this video we'll be talking about Omega Savage 3 and of course the Paladin point of view of it. So unfortunately I actually started recording a little bit late here, but the first critical hit you can definitely use hallowed ground on. Your hallowed ground will be back up later for the ad phase, so it just gives a little bit time for your healers to do a little bit more DPS. But after that, let's rewind the video a little bit so we know what's happening. Okay, this is pretty much restarting the whole video all over again, but here we go. Spellblade Holy, you can definitely use Divine Veil here. Now, you can sort of push off the Divine Veil for the next mechanic, which is basically the Queen's Waltz, and just to reduce the damage of it a little bit, because sometimes it does do a little bit more. But if you actually use Divine Veil there, because healers will be doing mechanics, the timing should be right for Queen's Waltz. Now Gravitational Wave or whatever it is, you can definitely use reprisals on it. As far as anything goes, you can reprisal most of it. However, if you are planning to do this in Sword Oath, I'd recommend to leave your reprisal for those critical hits later on, but at the early stages you only have to deal with basically that gravitational wave anyway. So after that, she's gonna change the platform, and on this platform, when it changes and she starts casting the briars, make sure to use awareness straight away. Now awareness has a 25-second duration, and it should last until she uses her critical hit. You can also precast your Rampart, so it's a little bit earlier. It'll be up for the next couple of critical hits. So critical hit, definitely have your awareness and your Rampart, Sheltron, and Reprisal if you must. So after that, if you're main tanking, you're pulling the boss a little bit further away from the spirit or whatever. This is the time I actually use Convalescence, because the off tank is going to be taking quite a lot of damage, and so it's just to alleviate the healing for the healers. You can also use Bulwark, but you know, it's a toss-up between the two. Now she's gonna use Queen's Waltz again, and basically this is the Manjack version. I don't normally have anything else to say, particularly in this floor, because it is pretty easy. The next bit is basically she's gonna do another panel swap, and then she's gonna summon the dragon. Now at this point you can use Divine Veil. It should be up again, so you can basically take the Queen's Waltz. Well, your party can take a little bit less damage for the Queen's Waltz. I know the dragon is here, and you probably say, what can you do to alleviate the healing a little bit? But actually, you're not taking any sort of damage. Now, your awareness, if you popped it earlier when I said you should, it should be up now, and you should use it straight away. Again, Rampart should be up, Sheltron, and then Reprisal, and it just, you know, you won't take much damage at all. For most of the critical hits here, I think I only used Sentinel once in the entire fight. Everything else was eaten by Rampart. So in saying that you'll need Sentinel is a bit of a stretch, so you only actually needed to use that once, and Honestly, I just use it because it's available. It's there. You can definitely reprisal and stuff much easier. If your off tank has reprisal, you can definitely do reprisal the dimensional wave. I keep saying gravitational wave because it's much the same thing. Well, anyway, let's go through the next panel swap. Basically, this is the library phase. In the library phase, you do have to make sure the boss is in the middle, just so everyone has enough space and can DPS the boss down. Now at this point, I will use Convalescence again because the off tank is taking quite a bit of damage from that ad, and you will be taking damage again. Now dimensional wave will happen. At this point, if you want to maximize a little bit of your DPS, you can sort of hit the other one, but you just be careful because critical hit happens, and Rampart, again, Rampart, Reprisal, and Sheltron should be enough to make sure you survive that hit. So again, if you're gonna try and do damage against the ad, I'd recommend to make sure you're focused on the boss as well, because about that time is when she will use critical hit. Now Divine Veil should have been up for that as well, so I think I was a little bit late there, but you can definitely have Divine Veil up there and make sure it alleviate the damage or the healing for the healers. Now we're gonna do a little bit of fast forward here because this is the animal phase or the zoo phase, and so we're gonna move this a little bit quicker. Okay, now once the zoo phase is finished, basically you're gonna try and aim for the boss to be in the middle again, but she does randomly jump to different panels for her Queen's Waltz, but as much as possible you'd want her to be in the middle because this makes sure you have enough space for Spellblade Holy and whatnot. And you know, it's not always going to be ideal, but I do try to make it so that she's always in the middle. Critical hit should be up for that after the Spellblade Holy. Awareness, Rampart, your awareness should be back up again, by the way, and of course Sheltron and Reprisal if you really need it. But having awareness, this actually just reduces the damage altogether. Now for for this phase, you can pop Bulwark here, in which I do, and it just sort of, because you're not gonna get healed much here. You're not taking a lot of damage, but you know, it alleviates the healing. Now whenever the boss jumps on the blue panel, I usually pop Divine Veil. You can save it for later when she uses Dimensional Wave after Dimensional Wave, but I find that the blue panel hits a ton against your party members, so having Divine Veil up there should alleviate again your thing. My thinking is making it easier for your healers to heal, because you know, they can DPS or they can do extra damage, or sorry, they're the same thing, or extra healing or whatever the mechanic they need to do. As you guys can see, the boss's HP is running really low at this point in time, so I do a little bit of flash, I do Circle of Scorn, use Hallowed Ground, stack it a little bit closer to the other ad so you can use your AoE skill, and it pretty much dies on the LB3, and then you just go back to the boss. You can use Reprisal here, or you can wait for the shield to come down and use Reprisal. It just depends. If both of your healers are up, there shouldn't be any worries about you know, about the damage output. Now if she just jumps on one of the book floor that has a blue panel, I normally go to the blue panel. This makes sure my melee has room. Unfortunately, none of our melees actually decided who wants to go there. So there you go. So again, Rampart and Awareness should be up for the next critical hit. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you the stretch of the video because the boss is going to die pretty soon. But the next critical hit that you're gonna take, you're gonna have to use your Sentinel. And that's it. Basically, Sentinel, Reprisal, and Sheltron. You know, but we killed it much faster than usual because this is a Sword Oath run. The DPS was, and none of our DPS died. That was the other thing for that. But yeah, Sentinel, and then I think the next one, if there is another one, you're gonna take, I can't remember on top of my head, but you can definitely use Rampart again. So that's it for this video, guys. Remember to click like, subscribe, and share this video if you find it helpful at all. As always, I'd like to hear from you guys what you think of O3S and Sword Oath, and if you have any further suggestions for the new tags out there, please leave them in the comments down below. Also follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Monchkinz Gaming. Monchkinz logging off, and I'll see you guys